Still a great concept and still pretty groundbreaking, but also kind of dated nearly 21 years later and several viewings later. Scream is about a high school girl who finds herself the target of a serial killer. Horror movie junkie on the 1-year anniversary of her mother's murder. As the body count rises, so do the suspects, and before you know it, your scream queen of how hour winds up answering horror trivia to her own life. If there's one thing to be said about the writer-director, blood orgy enthusiast, Wes Craven is the guy that got the damn ideas. Freddy may very well be the most inspired slasher villain that there's ever been, and in 1994, Craven started breaking down the fourth wall in a big old way with the new Nightmare on Elm Street, where Freddy starts killing the actors from the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and I think it's safe to say that the Scream franchise is exactly why he's the synonym with the genre. It's part tribute, part game changer, while some aspects don't quite work as well as others. There's still no other movie quite like it. It's like a horror movie made by a true horror aficionado who took everything we got bored with in the genre and turned it on its head so it seemed new. The weird thing is that when push comes to shove, this isn't a whole lot different from a lot of stuff that Wes Craven on the map had to begin with. But it's the first time that a horror movie actually felt like it was set in the real world. On the outside, the victims may seem like every stupid teen that's ever visited Camp Crystal Lake or managed to die on a prom night. But the difference this time around is that they've actually seen Halloween and know not to say. I'll be right back. When there's a serial killer on the loose, it's amazing how the movement of Craven lets his characters in on the rules of surviving a horror movie so that they're the ones yelling, "Turn around, you freaking idiot!" instead of us, and still manage to scare the audience on top of it. That's pretty damn impressive. Feels like one of those things that everybody has been begging for, and Wes Craven was the first one to answer the call. Too bad that more horror film makers haven't tried to follow his footsteps in this regard. And the script, for the most part, is awfully solid, but too much of the dialogue is too far corny for its own good. While I can dig that a lot of it is there to capture the classic Wes Craven feel of teens who are just waiting to be killed, they're too damn smart and too damn realistic to be calling someone a fuck rag. It does hurt the overall package in terms of getting us to connect and keeping that authenticity going, but since they're also more often not saying everything that's on our minds in terms of what's going down around them, it makes a bit less noticeable in the long run. But the acting here does leave something to be desired. Actually, the cast itself isn't that bad. It's just that the whole dialogue thing that screws it up. Courtney Cox and David Arquette are the best of the bunch. Neve Campbell just keeps on making all those quinty Neve Campbell faces. Rose McGowan is just there for sex appeal. And I'm not sure if Jamie Kennedy is just being annoying or not. Skeet Ulrich is actually pretty good despite his ridiculous haircut. Jeez. Matthew Lillard. Fuck that guy. I've been watching this guy ever act not the same level, brushing his teeth with a power drill. Every moment he's on screen is a moment we all have to suffer. And I don't know how Wes Craven could have allowed a jackass performance like this to silly his movie. Awful, just awful. Although it never hurts to make the fawns around, he still makes the painful all better. If you've never seen it before, Scream is the bomb. It'll make you want to watch horror movies, but once that's over, you may be better off just moving on and realizing in the memories since this ain't all that scary. Once you know what's waiting around the corner. Scream is a classic 90s movie, and it gets an 8.8 out of 10. This is Red Wolf signing out, and I'll see you next time. Peace.